Okay, the sun's coming up over the cloud wall there. It's a beautiful morning at Worlds Adrift beta, soon to be early access. I'm standing on the top of an island that I created that the developers liked well enough they put in the game. So this is a real high point for me. I've been playing this game about, maybe over a year now. And I actually designed the island quite a while ago when I was first playing and realized that I needed or wanted a safe island, one that would mostly not kill me. I still ended up putting in a few traps. It seems to be part of the game. But for the most part, it's a safe place. And you can see here I'm going to wander down. We've got a congregation of these big flying bugs. I'm not sure why they ended up there, but it's a procedurally generated game. So, like most modern games, a lot of things are they just happen at random. So this is a dome building that I placed over the top of this pit that I dug through the middle of the island. These are floating islands that you navigate by flying ships, anti-gravity ships, from one island to the other. You can see one off in the distance there. It's low res. Draw distances aren't so good. They have to keep the memory management. So anyways, this is this dome I put, and if I'm incautious, I will fall down the pit. If I'm cautious, I can proceed up the stairs here and top of the dome. There was a box here earlier that I emptied it out, so it's disappeared. And now we're going to go back down again. You can see, let me tick on the torch. And cool feature of this game is cool, meaning it's a pain, and a challenge, is this grappling. And we'll zip over here. So you swing, and I'm hoping I don't die. I'm not very good at this, even though I've been playing it forever. There we go. Here's a cave I made. That was almost fatal. Let me move into climbing mode here. There we go. They finally improved climbing so it doesn't kill you every time you switch from climbing to swinging. There's a box. Boxes have loot, of course. I think I've already got that. No, I probably don't. Okay, good. We've got an engine, and I'm going to add that to my knowledge, and a railing, which I always like railings. Keeps me from falling off my ship by pressing the wrong keys, which I do way more than I should. All right. So the tools are all on hotkeys. Can switch between tools that chew up the environment and turn them into raw materials, tools that repair parts for my ship that have been damaged, and tools for also tools that are just use the items that I've collected. All right. And so what I made was a lot of kind of ramps and levels and things that are relatively safe as long as I'm not too uncoordinated. So you can see I can loop right around the island there on that particular ramp. Oh, and this is a resource here. So this is a grand tour of the game. It's going into free access on Steam. So, which is where I started from, I think over a year ago. They went into beta for a while, so it's just a more core group of players. And let's drop over the edge here to this tunnel that I just came out of.
Ah!
And there, I just damaged myself. Hopefully not too badly. And we're gonna go down the big hole that I carved in the middle of this. So this was just I actually built the island using a free island creator on Steam, a Worlds Adrift island creator. Started out with a ball that was had a fractal pattern to it that generated mostly what you're already seeing. I only edited it mildly, but I did punch this big hole through the middle, which ended up capping at the top there to hide it, make it kind of a tricky deadfall, or pit fall, not deadfall. And then this stairs leads down to a cavern. Now this cavern was actually the bottom fractalized, randomized shape of the ball, and I put a floor under it to make it an kind of private docking station for my ship, which I was in the habit of making very small ships. So, oh, excitement. We're going to get an earthquake here. They call them understorms. And it's basically noise, shaking, lightning hitting the bottom of the island, and replacing various resources which have been depleted by players since the last time it shook. So we've got a box with loot in it. This is a little narrative that turns into knowledge, which is sort of the coin of the realm. And we've got to clear those out so that they'll regenerate. Otherwise, they'll stick around and have next to nothing in them. Railing corners, useful piece. So I have to accumulate all the components by finding them, hopefully. It doesn't happen often enough. Or by simply accumulating enough total knowledge that I can start selecting from this tree of various building blueprints. Big boxes of pure knowledge are these, which I've already scanned, but on the beginning islands, and my island was chosen as a beginning island, they're 25. So for example, to get your first ability to build ships, you need 50. So 2 of those and you're good to go. So pretty much anyone starting on an island is going to be able to get clothes. All right, so if I felt like changing my outfit, I would be able to. And if I needed a torch, and actually the last time I was here I did get a torch, and railing corner yes, already have. So I don't need that. And some scrap, which could be anything. Let's salvage that. And it's steel. Well, steel is rare and powerful and useful. So we're going to save that. I'll probably lose it the next time I get killed. This game is pretty deadly. Any misstep will kill you. Game programming glitches will kill you. Stumbling, falling off your ship will kill you. Other people being mean will kill you, because it's that kind of game. So I just plan to lose everything all the time. Plus it's beta, which means they're going to erase everything anyways. So it's all about knowledge. It's all about learning and building cool ships. This, I put this little mural down here to show that this is a safe harbor. And it's safe because I got tired of people shooting at me and blowing up my ship. So I thought, well, boy, I should design an island where they couldn't get me. So this is my little ship. This is my minimal ship. It's about the smallest you can make them. I've made them smaller, but this one's a little more elegant. It's got the anti-gravity machine there. It's got, now let me hop up. And that's cute. Okay. There, now we're bored. So this is, it's so small that just getting on it throws it around. So I'm drifting sideways here. I can probably get off and pull it around. But anyways, it's got the helm here for rising, lowering, turning right and left. And it's got sail for speed, motion, and like I said, the anti-gravity for lifting it up. And that's it. Oh, and this is my reviver, so when I die, which I will, I'll come back to my ship instead of some random island. And that's important because this island that I built doesn't have a respawn. They call them a respawner, but it doesn't have an entry point. So new players wouldn't get to this island until they built a ship, which I think is cool because that was really what I intended. And it's fun to have things work out the way you intend things when you have no control over it whatsoever. It's just the developers agreed with me, I guess. I made it so small, there wasn't a good place for a respawner. They're kind of these big floating buildings, not huge, but about almost the same size as the top of my island, so it would have been a bit much. Now I'm wandering around here. I'm going to carefully not fall off the edge because I built, after I crafted all of this, I needed to have something more interesting. So I built this extra, walk around here so you could go walking around, come out the other side. There need to be a certain amount of exploring. Otherwise, it's just, there wasn't enough going on. And these treasure chests and knowledge kiosks are all good exploration goals. So what I did for this was I actually hid one in a tunnel. Now the tunnel's open. You can see it from outside the island. And I'm going to try not to kill myself here and go over the edge and show you. I think this is where it is. All right. Got that right. Okay, so you can see now, if I was willing to risk it, I would try and get to it from here. But I'm not, because I always make a mistake and fall to my death and lose everything that I've collected over the last couple hours or days. No, it's usually hours. I die fairly often. So I built a tunnel to get to it. Now the interesting thing about this tunnel is it's got this bend and curve and drop, which is pretty cool. But it turns out that when you don't have a light, it's impossible. You can't see it at all. You would never know where to go, which surprised me. In the developer, in the creator tool, I was able to see just fine because the lighting there is different. But in the actual game, then it turns out that you can't see anything. It's totally dark. So until I got a torch, the only way I could get around was by knowing that I actually had made a tunnel. And one of the tools is slightly lighter. By slightly, I mean not useful in the slightest. So let's see, maybe I can walk backwards using that as my reference. Yeah, not really. Interesting though, you would think You'd think I'd just be able to walk down that, but it's such a blackout condition. And I just keep getting turned around. So let's see if I can pull it off now that I kind of know where I'm going. There we go. Okay, I'm making it. Yeah. Well, the tricky part is you can't see it, but there's a up. And now which direction am I? I think it's this way. Yeah, I easily get lost. Here we go. We're just going to leave because it's probably about as boring as you can get looking at a totally black screen. But yeah, nice challenge. Okay, this is great. See, how would you find that exit? You wouldn't. You would just basically be stuck in the dark. So I think a lot of people would then end up going out over the side and risking complete falling to their death, which happens a lot. So I think I spent a lot of time crafting this particular opening here so that it was as small as possible to still walk through at an odd enough angle, and you don't really even see it from a distance. So yeah, go me. Definitely had a lot of fun doing this. I never built another island after this. I just was more interested in trying to solve some of the major puzzles of the game, which is, crafting a ship that's usable by one person without getting killed by the flying manta rays that hate the sound of engines and will trash your ship, or you. The other players who are bored and will trash your ship, or you. And just being incompetent and falling to my death by hitting the wrong keys. I'm much more comfortable with a PlayStation style controller, so using a keyboard has been a challenge. All right, so let's go out and take a look at the island. Now, I'll probably wreck myself getting out of here because it's actually pretty tricky to fly in this confined space, which I didn't know because I had no sense of scale when I was building this island. I'm going to swing around here so I can see if I can find an exit. Yeah, it's a bit challenging, and it's a really simple ship. I don't have any engines or wings on it yet, which in this case is to a benefit. If I had wings, I'd be clipping them on the walls. But let's kick the sail open and flail our way out of here. Like I say, hopefully I'm not gonna kill myself. Flying with a sail is pretty tricky. I've got a little too much headwind here and it's just pounding me into the wall. But with a motor I get back and forth. With a sail, I think I'm going to have to close it up here for a second and reorient the challenges. And I think this might do it. My sense of scale in the pilot's seat is pretty different. Whoa, okay. Going crazy. As long as I'm in the pilot's seat, I won't get thrown off the ship. But as soon as I need to change the sail, then I run the risk of getting tossed. That noise was it trying to generate engines, which it doesn't have. There's a lot of raggedy programming things. It's beta, but it's still interesting, and I just find crafting ships to be hilariously fun when the shipyard isn't killing me for making a mistake. There we go. All right. Okay. So now we're going to be able to swing out and take a look at the island. And as you can see, it's pretty cool. As my first island, I have to say, I'm really, really happy that the developers thought it was a good island for beginners, because that's exactly what I designed it for. An island for beginners that had only a few hazards, mostly which would not kill you. They might take a big chunk out of your life, like falling down that pit might or might not take a chunk out of your life. If you got here on a ship, you would spawn on your ship, so that's not too big a deal, and probably your bag of things that you were holding that normally you lose forever, but they would have collected, I think, at the bottom of that tunnel. I'm not going to kill myself just to prove that. Kind of happy that I've gotten through this whole show and tell without doing something as drastic as that. We don't need to waste anybody's time looking at the loading screen. Okay, it's beautiful. So simple. It was a minimal island. I did very little to it other than building lots of cool tunnels and ramps and putting in that dome, putting in the paving. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy that the developers liked it. I have no idea if this island will still be around when the game's finally fully released. It should still be around for the Steam Early Access release coming up, I think May 8th. And the island creator's free, so you can build your own islands, but really, if you haven't played the game, you won't really understand the constraints that a player goes through, what's important to a player. A lot of the islands are just drop dead gorgeous. People are so incredibly creative, making all kinds of buildings, structures, and yeah, that's not my thing. I'm much more into this minimalism and found coolness. So my little flat top there actually was from the original, and I think I'm going to try and dock on it just to really challenge myself. My skills at flying have gotten a lot better, I must say. I've spent quite a bit of time. The trick is to come at it from an angle where the sail's barely working. It's mostly like a real sail. So if you don't have much of the sail catching any wind, you're not going to move very fast, which is great when I need to slow down for an approach like this. But I just built that station, that ship station, so it should actually just snag me as I come up to it. Or kill me. Gotta love that. And we're closing the sail. Oh, yeah, it really did. It knocked me down. But even though I don't have my railings built, I managed to luck out and not fall to my death. So that was not as elegant as I was hoping. I overestimated how well that ship docking station was going to catch me. It didn't at all. And let's give it another go around. If you've stuck with me for this long, you're definitely fascinated by this interesting game. And willing to see it to the bitter end. Not that bitter, actually. And drop down, turn around a bit. It's pretty hard to do inching movements with a sail. You can kick it open and kick it closed as quick as you can, and it'll still move you pretty far. But there we go. Docked at the top of my island, which is where we started. Very elegant. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Again, my first recording, and hopefully I had the recording button on. We'll find out.